Hello everybody, thanks for pressing play. In this video we're going to have a look around this car here. This is a Honda Civic and it's the saloon version of a Honda Civic, and this particular car is a diesel engine, so it's a 1.6 turbo diesel, and it's also an automatic, and in an automatic that means it gets a really nice fast moving 9-speed gearbox. Right, my name. If there's any information you want on this particular car, please do call, text, WhatsApp 086 843 1945. If you want information about the car, if you want information about scrapping a car or trading in a car, any information in general, please do not hesitate to give me a shout. I want to start the video by just doing some of the pragmatic stuff. So I press the button here, it pops the boot open. The boot, so there's a hatchback and a saloon version in the Civic. The boot on the saloon is a little bit bigger. So in terms of litres, it is actually a bigger boot than its hatchback counterpart. And what's cool as well is you can actually drop the seats forward. Now maybe that's in a lot of saloons. I don't recall it in other saloons, so it's dead handy if you have something awkward. The taillights are really cool in these sedans. They're bigger in the hatchback. When you're driving behind one of these at night time, it's hard to see in the daytime, but at night time they're like nothing else. Along here then, it's just a nice shape, a little bit less aggressive, and that's what people like in these. Slightly less aggressive than the hatchback counterpart. Some other features on the car, rear parking sensors, we'll see them in a while. There's a nice diamond cut finish on the wheels, so they're nice and shiny and reflective, a bit brighter than the hatchback version. And there's chrome on the door handles, and there's chrome around the window along here. And if you move to the front, there's also similar chrome along the nose of the car, just to make it a little bit more distinctive. There's parking sensors on the front, and there's nice auto adaptive lights. We'll talk about that when we're sitting in the car, where they come on and off themselves at night time and daytime. And they also work from the key, so I can use the key to turn the lights on or off, or similarly I can let the windows down, or similarly then I can let the windows up, and I can also retract those wing mirrors as well. In terms of getting into the car, there's nice brushed aluminium along through here. There's electrics back here and a chai lock in through there as well. In terms of the back of the car, there's also speakers up here instead of having them in the doors. There's 3 head restraints, there's 3 3-point safety belts, there's good ISOFIX on either side, and there's an armrest up through the centre with drinks holders as well. In terms of the condition, it's really nice. In terms of size in the rear of these cars, I'm 6 foot, so this is the amount of headroom I have, this is the amount of legroom I have. One thing about these cars, actually, we can put it on if you want, but a lot of people prefer not to. The tinted windows are on the hatchbacks, which is a dark tint, whereas it's not on these. Actually, and because of the way the windows shaped and stuff in the back, it's just a much brighter cabin to sit in overall. Anyway, let's have a look around the front. So up on the front, there is brushed aluminium along here, electrics for windows and mirrors in through there, and a little button down here to pop the boot open. The driver's seat will have lumbar support for lower back, height adjuster and rake adjuster as well, and then the steering wheel comes in and out and up and down, so in other words it's rake and reach, and there's nice aluminium pedals along through here which are quite sporty. The thing that strikes me on these cars is, do you know what, if you want a really nice, I know I keep saying in these videos about automatics, but genuinely this is the last time you can actually buy a car like this, a diesel automatic Civic. They don't make them anymore and they're not going to, and it's kind of, they're a nice car. Like, I mean, there's some new stuff coming out and it's fine, but these are actually a lovely car to drive. In terms of the way I'd look at these is they're a comfortable cruiser on the motorway, and there's actually, if you look at this saloon car segment, it's a nice alternative to some, like, it is a big enough car, it's not as big as a Passat or but the Mondeo and all that kind of stuff is gone, the Ventus is gone, the i40 we do in Hyundai is gone. So it's a good alternative for people that used to drive those kind of cars and they're still looking to get up the years in a saloon car. But the other thing as well is it cruises nicely in an automatic, happy days, and it's economical as well. But the other thing as well is it drives really nice. There's a 6-speed manual in these and it's a lovely gearbox, but this automatic uses the power way better. It acts, because the 9 gears, the gears are short, it accesses the power way better. It feels like a quicker car overall as well, and it's enjoyable to drive on a back road, as well as on a motorway as well, where a lot of people are going to drive a car like this. Let's go for a spin in the car. So down here, this is your gearbox, drive, sport. You'll see you can actually basically go from a drive mode into a sport mode. It's just going to give you more aggressive gear changes. Neutral, which is pretty much useless in an automatic car. Reverse, which brings up this big parking camera. And then down through here, park is park. But the thing about it is, with a car like this, when you finish your journey anyway and you turn it off, it also goes straight into park anyway. And over through here then, that's an automatic park brake. Has a brake hold to stop you rolling backwards, but on an automatic car it's kind of useless anyway, because the car really doesn't want to roll backwards. Auto stop start to traffic lights, and just an econ function to reduce how aggressive gear changes, and cruise control and air conditioning is. Better look around the dash when we're driving, but over through here, these are controls for things like, there's a lane keep assist program, and there's also a function for cruise control, and you can say how far you want to stay behind the car in front, and it's got a low speed follow. if you drove behind a car and you're going to Dublin or something like that, it would lock onto the car behind them. If they come up to a traffic light eventually, and as long as they haven't deviated left or right, it'll actually lock onto the back of them. If they stop totally, you will stop totally without touching the brakes. So that's what I mean by low speed follow. You got a speed limiter as well, and even things like the speed limiter can be used in conjunction with the speed sign recognition system, so it'll actually respect and slow you down. Respect speed signs when it sees them, parking sensors front and rear. And it's giving you two screens, so you can tell over here and over here that you've got a problem in front of you. Also right here out through the windscreen, which is probably the place you should be looking in the first place. And also the ones for going backwards then into this micro, well not into it, but quite close to it. So it's telling you got a problem here and here. And you got the noise too as well. Over through here then controls for audio and Bluetooth and an iMate function, which is changing information like average speed and fuel efficiency and maintenance information all in through there. Other buttons down through here, we already saw there's a lane key program. This is just something that actually warns you if you drift out of your lane, if you don't want too much intervention but you still want some help. Wipers will be completely automated, lights will be completely automated, daytime, nighttime, and they dip when they meet traffic by themselves. Up through the gears, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I mean, you don't have to use them, but I use them every now and then because I like changing gears and it's more engaging, it's a bit of fun, and it's enjoyable kind of and it changes gear fast as well when it's going up and down through gears. It changes quick, so it's quite enjoyable. It's more for driving pleasure than it is actually practical. Just to give you an idea of what it's like in the road, so in here I got the buttons we talked about, so I can have a D mode or an S mode to alternate between drive or a sportier gear change. After that then little iMid in through here, but again we'll have a better look at that in a sec. So in terms of how they sit on the road, it is a low car, it is quite a wide car, and for the size of the car actually it's quite a long car as well, so it feels like quite a substantial and big car on the road. In terms of the gearbox though, I really like it. You put your foot down, you get good response from that gearbox, gets you up to speed nice and quickly. But again, I suppose it's really comfortable because it is an automatic car. Screen over here through the centre, some people give out about them. If you Google it, some people give out and they say there's too much going on. Yeah, at times there is, but you know, it's like everything. You just get used to it and you have your own way of using it, and then it's real straightforward. Navigation is Garmin, audio in through here, so that's kind of USB or Bluetooth, but you've got Apple CarPlay and Android Auto if you want to use things like Spotify, and you'll also have access to Google Maps by using that as well. They sit nicely on the back road like this because it's got 4 independent suspensions all the way around. Sorry, independent suspension components even all the way around, so as opposed to the older models which are the torsion bar in the back. So these ones to make you feel confident on a back road when you're driving along here, and I quite enjoy that. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn around up here and we're going to actually get back down onto a road where there's a 100 km/h speed limit, because I want to show you the engine performance. So into the sport mode, floor the car, I can use the paddles to go up through the gears, but the car will do it for me if I want. See how quickly it changes gears, look how fast it is, but look how quick it actually gets up to 100 km/h. There's real good power in this car. It's 120 horsepower, but it has 300 newton meters of torque, and okay, I'm an idiot. I like driving, I like going down through the paddles, up through the paddles, changing up gears. You don't have to do it, but you know, I get driving pleasure out of it. But I suppose some people are just going to cruise in a car like this, but it's just to show you, you can actually have fun in a car like this as well. So it's kind of best of both worlds. There is a comfort element, but there's also a sporty element when you're driving as well. After that then, the car, like we're saying, it is 1.6 diesel engine, is 120 horsepower. Like we're saying, 300 newton meters of torque. To put that into perspective, the old 2.2 diesel with 340 newton meters of torque, so it is really, really good. The car is really cool looking. It's what's called a brilliant sport blue colour, and a lot of people really like that, and I think it contrasts really nicely with the chrome that's on the car. And like I was saying to you, at night time when you see these cars, they're really distinctive. The rear tail lights are like nothing else, and even like those little side markers either side of the bumper that light up at night time, they look really cool. And when they come up behind you, it's just a distinctive looking vehicle. That's what's cool. Something different than the Golfs and Focuses and Astras that's on the road. It's nice to have something different, I think. There you have it. That is an automatic. It is a Honda Civic. It's 1.6 diesel. It's a 9-speed automatic. If you want a car that's something a bit different than everything else on the road, this is definitely something that's worth looking at. If you want something that actually is economical to drive or economical to use, if you want a car that's actually comfortable to drive, and if you want a car that has the flexibility to be a bit interesting when you want to drive it on a bit, or you know, just to get driving pleasure from a car, and a car with a good level of specification as well, these are definitely worth considering. Anyway, if you want more information on the car, or trading in a car, or scrapping a car, or finance, or whatever it is, 086 843 1945. Brian is my name, Fitzpatrick's Garage, Kildare Town. Thanks for taking time to watch.